The Americans and the Russians have military bases in Alaska and Chukotka, respectively, and both of these areas are very close to each other. So, have there been military tensions along this part of the two nations? Who controls the Chukchi Sea and the Bering Sea? Interesting question. Let's go to the map. Here is the map. Where is the region in question? So this here is the Chukchi Sea, and here is the Bering Sea. This is Alaska, which currently belongs to the US. It was sold to the US by the Russians in the 19th century. And here you have the easternmost part of Russia. So as you can see, these two regions are very closely, very in close proximity geographically. So let's see where these two nations meet more or less. Okay, so here we are, and again it jumps somewhere else. Okay, so this is the region. Now, Google Maps is misbehaving, but let's make it behave. So this here are the Diomede Islands. We have the little Diomede Island here, and we have the large Diomede Island there. So the smaller island is it is under US control. It's part of the United States. It's part of the Alaskan region. And the big Diomede Island, it belongs to Russia. So the distance between these two islands is about maybe 2 kilometers, two and a half kilometers maybe. So that's one region where the two countries come face to face. I mean, you can stand on the beach and you can see the other country from there. So that's one region. Then you have the Bering Strait. Whoa, Google Earth is jumping around. So this is the Bering Sea, and this here is the Bering Strait. So this island here, it belongs to the US. As you can see, it's part of Alaska. And over here, you actually have the Bering Island, which gives its name to the Bering Strait. So this over here, you have a considerable distance, maybe a few hundred kilometers between these two countries over here. So in the past during the Cold War, there used to be these patrols that the two countries would undertake, sea patrols by ships and aerial patrols using heavy strategic bombers. Excuse me. And the two militaries would often come into contact. The air forces would like routinely come into contact, and the pilots would even wave at each other. Sometimes there would be tense situations where the planes would come too close and there would be aggressive flying and all that. It's even happened that ships have collided, submarines have collided, that sort of thing. So the situation in the past, during the days of the USSR and the Cold War, used to be often quite tense. These days also, I am sure there are tensions, but the uh, intensity of the tension seems to be lesser currently. When we talk about the Diomede Islands, I believe in the 1980s, a US swimmer actually swam across the distance between the two islands, and the event was welcomed by the leadership of both the countries. So that's the situation where we have today. Who controls the Chukchi Sea? It's an open sea. It's international water, so nobody actually controls it. But both navies would patrol it. You would have surface naval vessels and submarines as well. And the same goes about the Bering Sea. It is open waters, international waters, so nobody officially controls it. But both navies would have significant presences over here, especially nuclear submarines and such like vessels. So that, in brief, is the situation in this region. Very interesting part of the world.